Alright, this is going to be abiotic oil debunked. I just can't stand not to do a video on it after the thing earlier today that I watched, and then the reactions to that video. So I've got to go into depth on abiotic oil and why the people who believe in it don't know what they're talking about. And their main thing is everything's always got to be a conspiracy. You know, the New World Order couldn't just be the natural result of a bunch of statist governments. It's got to be a conspiracy. Abiotic oil, they see it the same way. It's a conspiracy by the big oil companies to deny people their God-given crude. Most of them believe in God. I've had some people say, well, God put the oil there. Okay, well, here's why abiotic oil is a fraud. Number one, you just need to go look at the geology. If you drill down there, you can do it for yourself. If you've got enough money, you will see that the sedimentary layers where oil is deposited. Now, abiotic oil doesn't acknowledge that. From what I've heard of it, there's different branches of it. Most of them, since they don't know what they're talking about, they kind of just speculate out of their ass. But they say it comes from the interior of the earth. Well, if you drill down, you'll see it's all, magma down there. The oil will cook. The real oil is in the sedimentary basins, the ones that, we can drill at. You can only drill so deep. And there's been no evidence, nobody has found that oil is seeping and gushing from the middle of the earth. There's a fixed amount. When it's gone, it's gone. Like a little bit is being created. All oil was created is from kerogen. Kerogen is like it's like pre-oil. When people say shale oil, that's what they mean. Or not shale oil, but oil shale. The stuff they have out in the west in the Green River Formation, it's kerogen. And what that is before oil becomes oil, it's kerogen, and it goes under pressure and then it becomes oil. But that's kind of a technical thing. So no one has ever drilled and found it seeping from the middle of the earth. It's being produced, in a way there is abiotic oil. I guess if you're just talking about oil being replenished, but it's being replenished at such a slow rate that, humanity could never have enough of it to deal with. At least not with how much we consume today. So that's the first reason, no geological evidence. So second reason will be oil company conspiracy. Well, if there is an oil company conspiracy, with all of the places to drill out there, there has not been one person who has had a well that has exhibited abiotic behavior. And what would that be? They say that it's replenished at a rate, the rate of replenishment can be set to a point where it will never deplete. It will just be like a flat line, a production curve. And if you ever look at production curves for oil wells, they go, it's pretty much the same for every one. They just drop off. It starts high and then it drops off into nothing, and then they eventually, they shut it in. They decide it's not economic to produce anymore. So go out and look. Why, if there can be no conspiracy, because anyone can go out and drill a well if they have enough money. It's called, it's not just big oil, there's junior operators. If there was abiotic oil, you can bet that they would want to find that, and what they would do is, they would hide it. They would say, if I've got an abiotic oil well, they would want it to appear that oil is scarce. So they would just let all the other people who had the non-abiotic deposits, they would just let them do what they're doing, but those who had the abiotic ones would hide it. But, they can only do that up to a certain point, because they have to report production data, and then when you see, well, why is your production flat yet you're not drilling any more wells, that's kind of fishy. It's either that you're holding back what you can produce, which is like what the Saudis do, or there's something else going on. So that's abiotic oil behavior on a well has never been shown. It's never been proven. And the third reason is, this is kind of a logical fallacy here. It's not really an argument, it's just something you need to look at. It's like the argument from, association. It's not an argument I'm making, but are you really going to trust these abiotic oil people? These are the same kinds of people who believe in Global warming isn't real. They're usually Christians. We all know Christianity's been debunked for really kind of debunked as soon as it started. And these are also people who believe, like Obama birth certificate. So there's nothing, if they're wrong on that, that doesn't mean they can be right on abiotic oil. But most of the proponents kind of have a track record of being, pretty stupid on a lot of these conspiracy theories. My view on the New World Order, the so-called New World Order, is it's not a conspiracy. It's just what happens when you have a tyrannical government. It's not a conspiracy. It just kind of ends up that way. The less liberty you have, the more tyrannical your government's going to come, and they're going to eventually want to establish total dominance. So I don't really view it as a conspiracy theory. It's just kind of a fact. There was no conspiracy to start it. I don't buy into any of that Rothschild stuff or Rockefeller, even though they're a part of it. So anyway, abiotic oil debunked. If you know anything about geology, you can kind of figure it out yourself. And if you still believe in it, you're free. I'll issue a challenge here. If you can raise enough money to start a well, and you can show me that it's real, if you can get the however many millions you need, I'll give you my whole income. In fact, I'll even say I'll become your slave, for life. I'll be your slave if you can go out and get some abiotic oil. I'm that confident that it's a hoax, at least with regards to what's already been drilled. I guess no one's drilled down into the into the mantle, so they can't really know what's there. They estimate based on other geophysical and geological methods, but I don't think it's down there at those temperatures. There's not going to be any abiotic oil. So it's debunked. Stop believing in it. Stop being fact deniers.